Grand Rising, everybody. Welcome back to another Commercial Trucking Chronicles. I'm your host, Swizzy. Back with another video. The sun is something else, man. Beautiful day out today. Nice day. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day over there. Right? I should have wore some shades, bro. Every time I buy some shades, they break and they're cheap. I'm sick and tired of spending $20, $30, $29. Not even a $15 shade. I got a pair of shades that I paid like, I think I paid like $5 for them. Still got them. I got them from Walmart. And if you go to Walmart and you go to um, the aisle where you do camping and stuff, you get camping gear and stuff like that. I bought a pair of shades from over there, like fishing. If you go fishing, they got the fishing poles over there. They got all that stuff over there, right? That's where you're going to get your best pair of shades. I don't know why, but they're durable. Everything else I be buying, that stuff break all the time. Now I'm over here squinting my eyes on the daggone hot sun. Put my shade down. Tommy Fat Check calling me, bro. Anyway, hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today is Wednesday. We're not working, even though it's a nice day to be working. We got plenty of work, but there's a lot of complications, and then there's all kind of storms and things moving across. This guy doesn't get it. He just keeps calling and keeps calling. A bill collector. He keeps calling and stuff. Tommy, I'm on a live, man. Join the live. I see you in the chat. Stop calling my phone. But I'm gonna get time up on here for you guys, bro. You know what I'm saying? We was talking yesterday, and we had brought up the discussion. There's a discussion that we were having about sports. We were talking about sports, and we were talking about the recent firing of Ryan Clark and Cam Newton from ESPN. Right? That's pretty crazy. I know you guys heard about that. If you haven't, go check it out. Ryan Clark he's been a sports commentator for quite a few years. Um, you know, I remember when he first came over to CNN some years ago. He had a little bit of, how it is. He's I believe he's from New Orleans, and yeah, he's from New Orleans. Ryan is from New Orleans. And I think when he first came there, filling out the crew, the cast, and all the people at CNN, of course, it was a big, it's a big accomplishment with his career and stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys that played in the NBA or played in the NFL or they do commentating after they kind of retire their jerseys and stuff like that. And then, they pick up a career over there doing sports commentating. Like that becomes their passion because, of course, they played the sport. What else is there for them to do after retirement than be a sports commentator? Um, I remember I worked for a guy years ago when I worked at a supply house, and the owner he was a big New York Yankees fan. So I got the Boston hat on. I'm a New York fan too, but I just rock Boston, and a lot of the players they always getting switched around and stuff. So you follow your favorite player, right? You follow your favorite athlete, and so I'm walking to the store. It's hot. I'm here. It don't take me long just to come. So you follow your favorite athletes and stuff, where they go. But again, if they're retired and they're doing sports commentating, That's what's up. Shout out to them. So I used to go to the I used to go. Well, the guy that I worked for, he was like I said, he was big in endorsements. He would endorse the Yankees a lot, right? So there was a radio talk show. You know how they do sports commentating on the radio, right? So every once in a while, he might be on a certain station doing some commentating, but he was just a business owner. He was not like an athlete doing it. Hey, how y'all doing, Alex? Alex Gray. What's that? That? Yeah, you're welcome, man. It's nice and cool in here. Elaine. Hey, Elaine. Hey, Alex. How you doing? Glad you guys could join me. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Um, Sorry about that. All right, so he used to do the sports commentating, for New York Yankees. Yeah, Elaine, I'm sorry. I try my best to sometimes pronounce the names and stuff. Well, I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing well. You know, um, especially with the weather and the way it's changing and stuff like that. So me and my buddy Tommy was talking about how they, the sports, ESPN, I guess they were doing cutbacks, but I tell you who they didn't let go, Stephen, freaking Smith, Stephen Smith, and everybody say that Stephen A. Smith is a big, you know what, but he expressed his frustration. He said he expressed his frustration, his uh, disapproval that they let you know Ryan Clark go, and Steven, you want to keep your position over there. But these guys are all set up pretty well anyway, right? They've already retired from the NFL. You know, um, they already have, I would say, a pretty comfortable home life, endorsements. I believe is this Ryan. Keep an eye on these people. Ryan Allen does like a podcast for, like, I think it's the Pivot, and I did a little looking into it because my boy, of course, was telling me, like, man, and I heard about it, but I was like, I had so much going on. I said, man, this is something I wanted to have have a discussion about. We can get up here on the live and talk about it, or we could do a show. I got some little editing that I'm gonna throw in there with it as well. Elaine, T-U, Tora, is that Tora? Tyre? Where you from? Where are you from, Tyre? Tyre, is that how I say it? It's gotta be a foreign name there. Be careful crossing the street. But hey, man, I appreciate you guys, man, for coming into the live this morning. And so that's what I was just saying. I was like, they're getting ready to start this football camps and all of that stuff. I guess for the training for before they start the draft or try to get these guys ready for their debuts or whatever for whatever team they might get traded to, get drafted into the league. And so they're going to be under the microscope of a lot of the talent scouts. So I got my boy, one of my friends, his son. Um, I think the coaches are looking at him, right? He may have some talent scouts looking at him. He's a quarterback, you know. Sadiq, little Cy. He ain't little no more. You know what I'm saying? Cy done grew up. He got a heck of an arm too, from what I heard. I ain't really got a chance to really see him, but my boy, that's like I said, it's his son, like my nephew, basically. They got a lot of footage. They got a lot of footage. He goes to a lot of camps and stuff, like football camps, which they getting ready. Them guys are getting ready to start going back to those camps now, anyway, to prep them and prime them for the season. And that's where they're gonna get picked from. You know what I'm saying? Them draft picks are gonna start coming. They're gonna be watching them boys, so they out there. But you know, these guys, man, like Ryan Clark and them, man, and Cam Newton and them, they spend a lot of time with them young people, man. You know what I'm saying? They was out there with them guys at those football camps. I think Cam actually had a football camp that he had. Uh, he was either endorsing or he was promoting or he started or something. I know, like a lot of like my niece, her first husband, um, he was signed to the minor league baseball, right? And he was gonna go to the major leagues. You know, they winded up, separating and everything, but he a lot of these athletes and things like he actually had a big star role. My boy had a big star role. I actually was in their wedding um, when my niece had married him, and he had a big star role as Jackie Robinson's stunt double, and his name is Jasha. If you ever watched that movie, go look into at the end of the movie, the comments, and his name is in there. But the thing about it is, it's okay, Lane. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about that. Desi Reb, hey Des, how you doing, man? Oh, shoot. It's a lot lizard. There was a little, one of them little lizards running around. Salamanders or whatever. He said, ever play soccer? When I was young, I did. I used to play. I was a very young Pele, man. You kidding? I scraped my toe open. I had to get stitches. That ended my career. That word up. Because I was out there running around playing with no shoes or nothing, or no shoes and socks, just running around. Was just playing barefooted. But like I was saying, I'm gonna go over here and check on the truck because I brought the truck home last night. I want to just make sure the truck is good. So I was just saying that these guys they already had their professional careers, and then they spent about 10 years or so. I don't think Cam Newton was over there for 10 years. He was at ESPN for probably about, I'd say, a few years doing this thing. But um, the other fella, Ryan Clark, he'd been there for 10 years at least. About, I think he said he was coming up on 12 years at CNN, and so that's kind of tough because that's what you love, man. When you're a sports commentator, that's what you love. And like I said, the guy I used to work for, he loved sports so much that he had a lot. He had a big, he had a nice sized company. He was a promoter of a radio talk show, and we used to get box seats, like either like right behind first base. You can get first seats right behind first base at the Yankees game. You can't beat that. I used to be yelling at them dudes when they get on first. I'm like, yo, those are like some of the best seats in the house. Just a few rows behind first base. Are you kidding me? Um, but um, to lose to lose access, to lose the access. Not that he lost access because it's that's like Cam Newton and them. These guys already have so many people in their, they're so well connected, with so much love and support from fans, other athletes, endorsements that they might have had and stuff like that. Um, so they still have, you know, some pretty good relationships that will. I mean, it's not like they need those relationships to carry them. These guys would have, you know, millions of dollar deals. They've signed their contracts to play for these teams for like it's crazy, right? So the truck looks pretty good. I'm just walking to a spot check. I really don't need to go over there to the truck, but she's over there. You can see her. She's over there. Just walking around, making sure the company vehicle good. They trust me to take it home, so I'm not walking my dog. I'm just. Oh man, yeah. Clean this truck over here. My truck is next. As soon as I get it clean, as soon as I get it fixed. As soon as I get it fixed. So, but that's got to be tough because this is what these guys they love to do is commentate, right? Being a sports announcer, they've been doing that for 10 years, man. Some of them, plenty of years. I forget all them guys. I used to watch them over the years, man. And either they might have retired. They didn't get fired. They fired them dudes, man. You know, they fired Cam Newton. It's crazy. Yeah, they fired Ryan on live on television. Tell me that was just. I guess they wanted to see what his reaction was going to be. You're on live. You're on a Sunday live. Sports cinema or whatever, and they say, hey, call your agent. Call the agent. The agent tell him, hey man, we got to let you go. Like you trying to get somebody to go, go. go off on TV, trying to. Most people don't really take to being let go from a job too well. But I guess he said he knew, he kind of felt that that was in the air, and because of some of his views and stuff on some topics that were otherwise controversial, and uh, they weaponized their authority over there, and they fired him. Nice to have a good life with people. Yes, I appreciate it. I try my best. I do try to get out here. Hey man, what's going on? You got that big check for me or what, man? Well, I've been waiting on you, man. You got me? You do? Oh, I hope my bank account big enough for the money you plan to drop off, man. That's it. Hey man, you have a good one, man. Stay blessed, bro. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of be tough because I remember, you know, and I've only been in my whole life. I've only been let go once from a job once. Every other time I left, I just said, man, I'm out of here. I ain't messing with this daggone job. No, I never, I would say I never, say never. I can't say that I've never been canned. I have been, you know, let go. I've been laid off quite a few times, you know, but that was the nature of the union, you know. There's always layoffs coming around. Everybody know that. But to have been let go and just told, hey man, you're done here. We're finished. While you're on a live, that's got to be tough. That's got to be tough. But he handled it like a champ. So shout out to shout out to him for that. Now I don't know how they gave Cam the news, you know, but you know, either way it goes, like they'll be all right. These guys, man, they got enough stuff going on outside of um, you know the employment with those franchises or those people at ESPN. So, but I watched the whole thing on him last night. The whole thing on it was a whole interview that Ryan Clark did, and I believe it was on the Pivot podcast where he's usually up there, and it was emotional. It was real emotional, man. And, you could tell he was speaking from a place of love and then hurt, you know, and sincerity. Like for all the people that he had worked with over the years, all the staff, all the people that supported him. He has such a great relationship with so many people at ESPN that it was when he said that it was something that he kind of felt like, there were some people who did not like, did not necessarily, well, not that they didn't like him. He said he was liked and loved by so many people, but there were some people that were, not so happy about um, things. I guess from when he kind of early on started his career there. And that's the thing a lot of times. Sometimes these companies will let you get all the way to a point where you're about to retire, right? And then, you know, you wind up finding out, okay, all right, 6.62%, 6.62%. 6.62. I don't want to change subject, man. They're gonna change these interest rates very soon. Just got an email from a broker. Uh, so I mean, everybody's cutting back. There's a lot of cutbacks happening, and stuff is really getting tight. Those guys are gonna be all right, though. But it's just when you do something that you love like that, like it's hard to walk away from it. It's very hard to walk away from it, especially when asked to, because you're showing up. See what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm glad I'm in the shade. Look at okay, just sent that over. So yeah, that's so unfortunate, but nonetheless, we got to keep going. And like he said, you know what? In a couple months now, in a couple months, you know, once the season starts back up, we're gonna be, probably that Monday night or that football game or whatever gonna come on, and whereas everybody gonna be expecting to see Ryan, you know, when they like they're not I don't think they're going to expect to see. Well, I mean, people probably still didn't catch the news and may be expecting to see Cam Newton and them up there, still on the field commentating and doing the sports thing, and they might expect to see Ryan Clark and you know. These guys used to be on the field as well as in the studio. So when you watch your Sunday night or your football games, this coming season, and this is from his own mouth. He said it's gonna be a shock because, when you tune in, you're not gonna see me, or I'm not gonna be up there, or or I might for a moment have a little, some a passionate moment because now you're not now no longer a part of CNN. You sitting at home watching the games because you love football. You're gonna tune in. It's gonna be somebody up there doing his job. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be difficult, but life goes on, and that's where when he said that, I said he's going to get over this. This is not, even though they probably did that to him to try to, they fired him on live television, right? So whoever did that, they were hoping to maybe get the kind of reaction. Who knows what kind of reaction that they wanted? They said, "Oh, it might have got leaked," so they wanted to just go ahead and put it out there. So they did it while it was on the live. But his whole reaction, like I said, when I seen the video the other night, it was passionate, because he was hurt, so it was passionate, and there was still a lot. It wasn't anger. I get it. He totally understands things like this happen, so it's time to move on. And when he said that, when he was like, once the season begins, and I sit down and watch, um, you know, you're still going to be able to tune in and see what's the old boy, Steve, Clark, and the other guys will still be there. So you're still tuning in to ESPN and see them up there, but you're not going to see Ryan over there. And he was like, man, I'm at that point. I'm gonna probably get a little, a little sensitive, but I'm gonna enjoy the game, and my life goes on, man. You know what I'm saying? So, those people that were the higher ups that did kind of just let him go like that, you let him go, but you see the man, he's a champion even still. You know what I'm saying? He's still a champion. He's still, able to run through or make his way through life without having to feel like, the end all be all is his career at ESPN. Like, come on, even before that, he had a great career. You know what I'm saying? So now that this, what, 10, 11, 12 years is over with, that he was there, he can just keep it moving and feel proud about himself because a lot of the people that he's, along the way that he done already helped, formed relationships with. And then he gave a big shout out to a lot of the people that was over there for years that he's worked with that he just had to say his farewells. And he did it with a lot of integrity and stuff like that. Like, so that's the main thing. Like, he left with integrity. He did not leave, and show out or you representing the culture, you representing the people and stuff, And so then that raises the other question and the other topic that I want to talk on about these H, the HSBU colleges. Uh, um, what was that? What were we talking about? We were talking about something. HBU, the colleges that a lot of the athletes attend. That it has to do with the uh, the birthright citizen thing or something. I got to go back into my notes and see, but we're going to have this discussion. Y'all could join me. Hopefully, I can get Tommy Fatcheck to pull the truck over so that he can come in and weigh in on the subject because he does. I wanted some of his views. But we were talking. I said, man, listen, I really, I really want to get you up on a collab with me so that we can put this thing together and start um, start the conversation about what's going on within um, the sporting um, you know sports and stuff like that. Now soccer, let me tell you, I told you I played soccer when I was young. You know, soccer's a rough sport. It's just like football. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit more extreme, if you ask me. These football players, a lot of football players, I don't want to say you're prima donnas, but I ain't gonna start calling out names. I am a Jets fan, so I think I'll just hold off on that one for the time being. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, man. Hit the like button, man. Subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Were you watching the live when they told my man that he was fired? Did you guys even know that? And then they did Cam Newton like a few days later. They fired him. Because I heard about it, but it just went right over my head because I had so much going on. And then we started talking about this, and I was online looking, and I called my boy back. I said, Tommy, did you hear it? He said, yeah, I was trying to tell you that, but you got so much stuff on your mind, man. I'm just telling you, I don't know where your head be at. So I was like, man, yo, bro. I mean, for a second, I was not really kind of in tune with things because I got a lot going on and stuff. He knows that. You guys might not know, but he knows pretty much everything that, not everything, but he knows pretty much a lot of what's going on right now. So, yep, that's it, you guys. I got to get off this thingy here. Um, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment. But go check out. Well, I haven't posted it yet, but I'm going to set the date. It's going to be Thursday night. I think we're going to do Thursday night. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, today's Wednesday. I'm doing Thursday, so I got some time. I got some time to do some editing and get it all right. So that's what we're working on. That's what I'm gonna do. Hopefully, I look forward to seeing you guys there. Hopefully, you join me again. I'm your boy Swizzy, and I'm out. Y'all be safe. Peace and blessings. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. If you're watching this on the replay, y'all make sure and leave a comment, man. I appreciate you. Let me know where you're watching me from. Let me go some of these comments. Lane. Um, Desi Rab is listening. Desi, I appreciate you for joining me, man. Sorry, I messed up. BOLL. This is play football. Oh, that's what you meant by that. Okay. Tior. That's Tior. Tior say what's up. How you doing, Tior? Can't pronounce the last name. I'm sorry. I didn't want to try. Alex, and everybody else that joined me. Yo, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go, but I'll be back. So do me a favor, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video when I pop up somewhere. All right, and y'all have a blessed day. Thank you.